Well, welcome back to Cloninger's Garage. This video is the first attempt at a simple, painless load development process. Never tried this before. I'm going to try it out today and see how it goes. So you may ask, why this video? Number one, I'd rather be shooting than reloading. Yeah, sometimes I like to reload and it's a little relaxing. If there's raining outside or something and there's not much else to do. But in all reality, I'd rather be shooting than reloading. Number two, chasing the perfect load can be very frustrating. We've all done it. We've tried to get that last half a minute of accuracy and precision there. Really can be frustrating. Number three, for the most part, complicated load development processes such as ladder test, 1.1 grain, incremental group testing, testing multiple different powders, testing multiple different primers, testing seeding depth are really not necessary. The Pareto Principle states that for many outcomes, roughly 80% of consequences come from 20% of the causes. In other words, 20% of your efforts lead to 80% of your results. When it comes to load development, 20% of your load development work will give you 80% of your accuracy and precision results. In most cases, chasing that extra 20% of results, which takes 80% of the effort, is not necessary. Statistically speaking, go watch Hornady's podcast titled Your Groups Are Too Small, episode 50, and Your Groups Are Still Too Small, episode 52, to kind of better understand what I'm talking about here. I wanted to try something simpler and less frustrating. I read a post titled Painless Load Development by Formidolosis that led me to try this new process. This was posted on Rokslide. If you want to search it, great reading. There's a lot of great stuff on Rokslide for a lot of different reasons if you're into hunting and load development and different things of that nature. So let's get to the range and try something new. All right. So what I've got here is 223. This is a Remington 783. It is probably a 1-in-9 twist. I've got a scope that I took off of an AR on here. I know it doesn't go on there. I know it's a one-piece mount on a Picatinny rail on a bolt action. I know it doesn't all go together. What I'm trying to do is put together pieces that I have in my arsenal or in my gun safe and try to put together a load for. These are 75 grain Hornady AMAX. You can't seat them short enough to go into an AR. Thus the bolt action. Thus the scope that doesn't match the bolt. I'm simply trying a new method of getting load development. I will explain that a little bit more back at the shop. But right now, all I'm doing is I've got 3 rounds. I'm shooting to find pressure. What I've done is looked in the book, tried to find a max load, and then I went down half a grain, and then I went up half a grain, and I'm going to start low with these 3, shoot 1 apiece, look and see if I can see any pressure signs, and then I'll load some up. The goal here is to try to find a load for this rifle, for this scope, for this bullet in 223, and I'm going to say less than 25 rounds. That's the goal. One that will shoot and hit the target, and I'll explain why I'm not going further into load development and stuff. This is a new procedure I'm trying, so we'll talk more about it later. Let's go ahead and shoot a little bit. All right. First one, 24.5 grains of Varget. under 75 grain Hornady A-Max, seated at 2.42 probably. I can look that up exactly what I got when we get back to the shop. Simply looking for pressure signs right now. Well, I hadn't done anything with the scope or anything. I just put it on this rifle. Just hit a plate down there. Probably is a 12-inch plate at about 90 yards. I don't know where it hit it, but it did hit it. I'm gonna shoot one more, see what it does. But that may be it right there. I don't think I'm gonna have to do any sighting in. Maybe a little bit of dimpling on that primer, maybe a little bit of. I'm gonna shoot this last one just to see. I think we're safe to let it go. It's on, which is kind of crazy. We'll take those back and look at them a little bit tighter. Trying to see here. It's hot and sweaty. Can kind of feel that primer coming out a little bit. It is a very hot day. I don't know if that would really matter too much with this powder, but well, we fired all three. There are a little bit of pressure signs on all of them, so I will probably drop back down, load it a little bit more, and then come back and continue the process. Stay with us. We'll keep it rolling. All right, so here we go. At the bench. So I've shot three. I had a little pressure signs on them at 25 and at 25.5 of Varget. So I'm going to load up 10 of 24.5 Varget. Do it right here on the bench. See if I can get this load to go. I know there's much better ways to do this, but this is what I've got right here. You can watch my video on prepping the brass. The brass has already been prepped, primed, everything. It's just waiting for powder and bullet. Got me a Lee hand press here. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it. Get it in there, get my A-Max bullet, place it on top there. This is a little bit awkward. First time I'm trying to do this, so I'm sure there's a little bit better way to do this. And we'll figure that out in the future. I may figure it out as we go here. All right, there's one. All right. just trying to do this by hand. My point in doing all this is to try to see if it's really in a hunting situation or the shooting that I do, is it really necessary to try to chase exact loads? Been doing a lot of research on the internet. You can watch a lot of different videos about your groups are too small. Check that one out, Hornady. And then another one, your groups are still too small. You can go to different forums and look at different ways that people put together loads. Very complicated ways. Trying to chase every little bit. I guess really what I'm looking for is something that I can load pretty easily, pretty quickly, without a lot of load development, and get it to shoot within a minute and a half at 100 yards, and then true it on out a little bit further later. Probably would be better, less windy atmosphere here. That wind's died down a little bit here. It's not too bad. But it goes back to the 80-20 rule. You know, 20% of your effort's going to give you 80% of your results. How much of that 80% do I want to put my effort into it in order to try to get that extra 20%? My feeling is that I'm going to be able to do this. I've seen other people talk about it, but until I can actually do it myself, you know, not so sure I trust it so much. But we'll see what happens here. I will speed this up, at least when I'm not talking. If you'd like me to talk, then great. But if that 80% will get me what I want in order to be accurate and shoot deer or whatever else I'm hunting out to whatever yards, do I really need to put in all that extra effort chasing that extra little bit? Do I really need to try to get a half-minute gun? You know, do I need to find a load that's going to get me there? You know, at what point do I have diminishing returns? It's all about statistics. You know, I can shoot a lot of different groups, and you know, I can do one group, which I've done recently. Haven't posted the videos and results because I'll do one group and then I'll come back the next day and do another group, and it's a little bit different, a little bit different, a little bit different. But after listening to Hornady's podcast on your groups are too small, it's really all, if I overlap them all, it's all in that same cone of fire. So what I'm trying to do here is simply find a group and then shoot it and see if I can get something accurate with a lot less work. On top of that, I'm putting in a lot of different things. This is probably not the best scale. It's probably not the best scooper. Probably not the best method of putting this together. But if I can get something accurate with all of those variables in there, it's going to lead me to believe, or my hypothesis is, that I don't need to be chasing that last little tenth, that last little half a minute or quarter of a minute. You know, is 1 minute going to be, is a minute and a half going to be good? You know, what am I trying to accomplish here without spending too much time doing it? I'm one that at times I do like getting at the reloading bench and loading and stuff. It's kind of relaxing to me at different times. But I like to pull the trigger. And if I'm spending hours upon hours of trying to find a load that works, then I'm not shooting while I'm doing that. Find something that's close, that works. And let's go with it. This is actually loading a little bit easier than I thought it would be. I thought this was going to be a nightmare. It is slow, but this little process is not bad. Obviously, once I figure out which load I want, I will go and do it on my bench back at home. But it's a little way. I have a long way to travel to get to this location, this range. So for me to do some work, find a load, go back, load it, load 10, 15, whatever, 30, come back, shoot it, don't like the results or do like the results, try to repeat the results, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If I can just simply find a simple load right here at the shooting bench as I'm going, then I can just go home, load it, and then shoot. I'm actually surprised that I'm able to do this by just doing this. I do have a trickler over in my truck, but I'm hitting 24.5 grains fairly easily on this scale with this interesting little scoop I have here. If you're interested in that, comment below. I'll see if I can find out where I got it, and then if you're interested, you can get one too. I'm not trying to promote anything, just an interesting little tool that I've had here. It seems to be working pretty good. If you'll notice, my last few videos have really been, I mean, I'm wearing the same thing, obviously. I'm shooting them all in the same day. That trying to get in some film time, as because it is such a way to get over here to this range. This is my family farm here, so I also don't have too many of these bullets. These were given to me, so I would hate to use every one of them trying to find a load that works and then not have any left to use. So another reason for using this method. As you can see, I'm going over sometimes. Drop back under. There we go. I've been out here a long time today. This is the last thing I've been doing today. All the other videos that you've seen have been shot before this. This is the last thing that I've been doing. So, my hands are not quite as steady as they were earlier. I am getting tired. And I'm ready to get these 10 shots and get back on the road. Maybe give me something to eat. I'm hungry. This works okay. This is Lee hand press. And if you don't have a lot of money, I mean, it'll do. I mean, you can basically do the case prep that I do in my other videos. You can use this. Not very efficient, but you can do it. You know, if you're wanting to try out reloading, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, cheap little scale here from Amazon. I think this plate or this scoop here is I probably got it on Amazon too. I'll have to look and see. I don't remember where I got all this stuff, but I will look it up. All right, there's 10. I'm gonna leave this rolling so that you know that I didn't just cut to it. Set this stuff aside. Let me see if that's 10. Maybe that's not 10. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that right? No. 4, 5, 4, 5. Yep, that's 10. All right. Got an extra case there, but that's all right. We'll just set that to the side. Turn the scale off. I think it was pretty much, I mean, I was hitting steel. Woo! Sweating out here. Been a lot of rain around here lately, and it is very humid here today. I am going to aim center target and just let the groups go land where they land. Like I said, I just put this scope on here. I haven't adjusted the scope at all. Just put it on there, took it off an AR, put it on this rifle, hit steel with those first 3 shots that I shot. Now I'm going to try to see how it does from there. These probably won't fit in here either. Nope. Have to shoot them one at a time. They are definitely not to mag length. That's cranked all the way. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So when I was hitting steel a minute ago, that was on 1 power. I didn't even look at the scope. I just was basically sending it down range. I was looking for pressure sides, is what those first 3 were for. Really not even much aiming. So let's see what happens from here. Cranked it up. This is up to 6 power. I'm going to shoot it at the target and we'll see what happens. Go one at a time. See where we end up. I definitely enjoy shooting that a lot better than the 308. This scope is very hard to see. Don't have great eyesight anyway, but it's not the correct eye relief. If you'll see me trying to move my head around, I'm just simply trying to see the scope. Like I said, I just simply threw this on here, see if I can put something together, see what can happen. I have no idea where they're hitting down there. Hopefully they're grouping close. If they're center bullseye, even better. Very unlikely on that though. Felt like I may have pulled the trigger a little bit that time, but there really are no flyers. It's all in my technique. If it's not good, then it's not good. So all of that goes into those statistics and that cone of fire that they were talking about. If I can't do it here, there's no way I'm going to do it out while I'm shooting a deer. So let's leave those variables in there and let's go with it. It feels real good. Don't see any signs there. I may have to get some more bolt action 223. This is really fun to shoot. I may have to divest some of my other guns and get a good 22 bolt. This is kind of fun to shoot. Another factor I haven't talked about is this is a 1-in-9 twist barrel, and this is a very long 75 grain 223 bullet. So it may not be stabilizing them down there. I don't know. Of course, when I shot it and hit the steel, it was going where I was aiming, so something must be doing good. If I'm gonna have to shoot this too much more, I'm gonna have to definitely get a different scope, fix this scope, move it around. It is definitely not in the ideal spot. But for this test, I guess that's part of it. Trying to find out, you know, what really matters when it comes down to finding a load. And I think what it's going to come down to is finding a good bullet. I think this is a good bullet, a good powder. I've used Varget before. I really like Varget. So as I put this through its paces, we're going to see on a rifle that is probably not ideal for this bullet, scope that's not ideal for this rifle for sure, and see what happens. And that's all she wrote. Now let's go check it out. We'll see you back at the shop. That's not bad. 10 shots, 223 from the bench down there, loaded on the bench down there. Probably not super accurate, but that's a better group than the 250 Savage loads that I've been working up. Very frustrating on that deal. But come to find out, those barrels are probably not very good on that ultralight model 77 250 Savage. But I believe that'll get the job done. Not a lot of work. Basically shot 3 shots. What I did was look for pressure signs, dropped down to 24.5, loaded 10 up, shot 10 right there, and I probably could shoot a little bit better than that if I was spending a little bit more time, maybe different rifle, maybe a better scope, or maybe not necessarily a better scope, but actually spend some time you know, sighting it in and working with it instead of just throwing it on there. I mean, I literally did nothing with that scope and that rifle. So we'll take these off, take them back to the shop, and we'll talk more about them there. In closing, I think I'll try to simplify my load development process, maybe even more than what I did today. For this last target, you see, I loaded up 20 rounds and shot this group at a local range. The distance was approximately 100 yards. Actually, it was exactly 100 yards because it was measured out. The group measures approximately 1.5 inches. That's not too bad for easy load development. If you would like me to do a more in-depth explanation, please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Have a great day, and God bless the USA. Oh, look, I got my helper. He's back.